You good?
Take off, hoser, eh? This is Curt Barnes coming to you from the Great White North, the Boundary Waters Canoe Area Wilderness in Minnesota and right on the very edge of Canada. And this is my partner, Amisa Barnes. All right, there she is. And we're going to take you on the trip of a lifetime. You'll know, for those of you who'd like to know what the Boundary Waters Canoe Area is, this is it right here. What you're seeing a whole lot of water, some islands, a whole lot of trees, a whole lot of bushes, a whole lot of wide open space. Please note, you don't see one thing. You don't see people. There's not a lot of people up in the Boundary Waters Canoe Area. Okay? There's not many people here at all. The next thing you want to know is how do we get our stuff into the Boundary Water Canoe Area? Okay? My lovely assistant, Amisa, will point out our 3 packs. The first thing and most important thing we have is the food pack. We have enough food for 4 days here. The next thing we have is the gear pack. The gear pack contains our tent. It contains a dining fly. It contains a few other items that we need for sleeping here at the Boundary Waters Canoe Area. And our last pack is our personal gear pack. So as you can see, we have 3 packs. Okay, we have the food pack, we have the gear pack, and we have the personal pack. Okay, here we go. We're now at the Boundary Waters Canoe Area toilet. Every campsite has a toilet associated with us, and this is ours. As you can see, with the Boundary Waters Canoe Area toilet, you need 2 things. You need toilet paper and you need a stick. And the reason you need a stick is because you've got to knock out all the cobwebs on the toilet before you use it. And how do we get around in the Boundary Waters Canoe Area? I'll tell you how. We go by canoe. I'm surprised you even had to ask that. It's called Boundary Waters Canoe Area. How do you think you get around? You canoe around. And this is our canoe for this trip. We're very happy with it so far. We have had to face some extreme winds that went well over the expected 35 miles an hour. And this canoe's handled it pretty darn well. We're pretty impressed with it. It's really difficult to maneuver in the high wind. It is extremely difficult to maneuver in high wind. But this is our canoe. It's very light. It's a Kevlar canoe. And we are going to get very used to this for the next 4 days. All right, here's the morning of day 3. And here's our scenery today. We kind of came into an inlet. Hopefully you can see that loon out there. Oh, he just dove down, so you won't get to see him. But this is where we're staying. We'll be taking off in about an hour. Okay. So some of you wonder what we cook, how we cook, and what we eat here. Well, I'll show you our entire cooking setup here. Here's our entire cooking setup. Of course, the most important thing is the coffee pot. Okay, and underneath the coffee pot here, that's our stove. That's our stove. Okay, that's the only thing that we have to cook on, unless we want to cook on the fire. I'm not real good at cooking on fires. Here's our mess kit. And that's it. All right, now the question is, sometimes we have to carry our canoe across land. Okay, so how are we going to do this? Okay, this is a portage. This is what we call a portage. Okay, so here's Amisa with the canoe, and you can see we still have our stuff in the canoe. We've just landed the canoe, and now we have to carry it. Let me show you the portage. Okay, this is a very, very, very short portage as far as portages go, but as you can see, it's really, really rocky. Okay, so we're gonna have to carry our packs and our canoe across this rocky terrain here, and then we got to land it in the next part of the lake, which is right here. Now this is an extremely rocky landing, and so we got to somehow or another come out, get the canoe out here. I have to stand out here on these rocks, and I'm going to have to put it into this water. Okay? So this is not going to be, by any means, this is not going to be easy. Red light flashing? Okay, here we go. All right. Not everybody, but there's several people have asked me, how do you get your canoe from one part of the lake to another over the portage? This is how we do it. We got a Kevlar canoe, so it's really light. So I'm going to be able to pick this up. You see some shoulder pads there. You'll see some shoulder pads there. I'm going to put those shoulder pads on my shoulder, and I'm going to carry the canoe over to the next part of the lake. So here we go. I got to step out into the water. These are Kevlar canoes, and they get holes in them real easily. So we got to stay away from the rocks. So I got to step down into the water, pick it up, step back on the land, and carry this thing. So here we go. So far, so good. Out of the water. All right.
It turned off.
It turned off?
Yeah. Should I just press the red button again?
Push the red button. Red light flashing?
Yep, you're good.
All right, here we go. Over the rocks, through the trees. There now, kids, that wasn't so bad, was it? Okay, now to facilitate our portage trip here, we've got Amisa carrying 2 packs. Okay, so we don't have to make so many trips. So she's going to take that, she's going to take this, and then I'm going to take the other pack and the canoe. Now usually I put the pack on and then put the canoe on myself, but this is such a short portage that I'm just going to carry the pack to the end of the portage, and then we're gonna come back for the canoe. And success! We are off and going. So if you want to know what my view looks like this entire trip, this is it right here. I get to see the back of Amisa's head. I get to see the back of Amisa's head all the time. And also my job is to follow the map, do what the map tells us to do. Okay, so and that's what we're doing right now, is we're following the map. All right, so we managed to successfully launch the canoe. We managed to successfully launch the canoe, and now we're off and running to our newest, greatest adventure. All right, some people ask what we do about water out here. There's 2 things we can do about water out here. Number 1, we can take this container out to the middle of the lake and dip it and take the top off it and dip it down in the lake, and we can fill this up about 3/4 of the way and with water from the lake. Okay, that's if we go out to the middle of the lake. Okay, a long ways away from the land. Okay, now if you're close to land and you still need that water, we have a filtering system here. This is pretty high-tech stuff. This is a filter. Okay, I did not ask if it was 0.2 micron or not. We put that on top of a water bottle here, and then we have a hose that goes down into the water. Okay, so we got a little float here. We got our little end here. Oh, let me catch up. Okay, got a little end here, and we just take this and we just drop it down into the water as such, and then we pump Do a simple pump, and as you can see, we now have filtered water. I know, it's crazy, it's true, but that's how we do it. One of those two ways. Yeah, okay, yeah, I know, I heard you talking smack. Yeah, what do you think now? Mixed veggies, pudding, 3-cheese lasagna, beats the hell out of what you're having for lunch, doesn't it? Yeah, so what? It has a few black flies, it has a few mosquitoes in it, but who cares? We're eating like kings tonight, losers.